Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Another week in the markets. So how's everybody doing? Give me 1 sec. Let me grab my water here. Actually, I'm going to grab the water and drop the AC. So sunny South Florida, we are, heck, you could see right here in the top right-hand corner, man. It is smoking hot. Today, I think it was, I don't know, like with the heat index, like 98, 99 degrees. It was definitely a pool day. Hold on, bear with me. Alrighty, there we go. The wife was in the office earlier and turned off my fan, so I had to turn that sucker back on. So how's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if, let's see. There we go. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yep, awesome. All right, well, let's get started. So yeah, it's Tuesday, another day in the market. Hopefully you guys have looked at the fundamentals calendar, because we definitely got a whopper coming on this week. We've got a crap ton of speakers. So something I'm definitely keeping my eye on this week. And it's coming out tonight. So probably, what is that? Like in less than 3 hours, my time, the Kiwi is going to be releasing their monetary policy statement. So essentially it's going to be their funds rate. And if you haven't looked at it, they're already pricing in a 50 basis points or 0.5% increase. So that's definitely going to give us some volatility. I'm actually, nothing has changed in the last couple of weeks. I'm still very much bullish dollar. Actually, we finally have broken order flow to the downside, and I'm just waiting for us to come back into an area where I can look for those buys. So with tonight, I'm looking for things like today. I was looking at NZD CAD, NZD JPY, and NU, as well as the Australian equivalent of those, right? I'm looking for some manipulation to the upside. I want to see some kind of manipulation. And then ultimately on all of these, I'm just going to be looking for the redistribution to come back down. So, probably I would say maybe like Frankfurt, London time, we're potentially going to be seeing where that manipulation is going to take us. So I've definitely got some of the NZD and the Australian pairs on my primary watch list for the week. We did see, I was listening a little bit to what these two were talking about today, and it was just a lot of just throw up, especially Powell. I mean, there's just not a lot of confidence in what the Fed is doing. The ECB is, in my opinion, just I don't even know what the word would be, but they're it's outdated. That's what the policy, the policies that they're trying to put forth. I don't think, I'm not an economist, so it's just my opinion, but you got to laugh at some of the crap that they're talking about, what they want to do and where their outlooks are. If you really keep up with what a lot of these governors of these world banks are talking about, or chairmans, they're hawkish one day, dovish the other. And it's honestly, it's just chasing your tail around. I feel like these people are dogs just chasing their tail around, going in circle, and not really having an understanding of what really is going to work. I was having this discussion earlier, man, and it is just crazy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The other thing I'm going to be looking for, obviously tomorrow, they're right back at it, talking about some more financial stability reviews, right? What they're going to be doing. Bank of Japan is going to be talking, right? So we're going to see some volatility in some of the yen, depending on what kind of tone they're going to be taking. And in my opinion, I think everyone's going to try to come out very hawkish, but that really doesn't translate too much, because if every currency is going to come out hawkish, like, oh, everything is, peaches and cream, you're not going to have, you're not going to have any movement and any volatility. So we'll see what happens. We do have some meeting minutes. I don't see a lot of volatility coming out of that because it's not true FOMC. And then of course, the Royal Bank of New Zealand Governor Orr is going to be speaking, pretty much kind of detailing what happens here. So Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be pretty much all speakers. And then Thursday it kind of dies down, right? So, hopefully by Thursday morning, which is my probably favorite day to trade, Thursday morning, I kind of have a really good direction of where I'm going to be targeting price to take those continuation moves, right? Can I check German 30? I could try. I mean, I honestly haven't marked up German 30 in probably 3-4 years. So if you got a chart, just drop it. I know you're on YouTube. You can't drop the link, but just copy the last segment of the file name, and I'll pull your chart up and we'll see what would happen. What's my opinion on what happens to the Forex market when they switch everything to a digital dollar? Nothing. Nothing's going to change. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe we just have different understandings of what a digital dollar is going to do. In my opinion, nothing is going to change. A digital dollar just allows the US government to not have to stockpile actual currency. In the US, I mean, if you're from the US, everybody knows Fort Knox, right? It's the largest depository for US gold. It's also the largest depository for the US Mint. So all it's going to do, it's going to alleviate the warehouses. So that's all it is. I mean, nothing changes. Right now the Forex market it's all digital, right? We're not actually physically trading physical dollars. We're doing it digitally. So nothing in my opinion is going to change on that. How do you know if a potential accumulation, wait, let's see. How and when do you know if a potential accumulation turns into a redistro? When you're in phase D of the schematic. So once the accumulation fails and it's broken through the ice and made a new low, you are now in a redistribution. So it's catching you out quite often. Well, I guess the first question is, are you trying to buy a bullish market or a bearish market? Because if you're trying to buy a bearish market, chances are all your accumulations are going to be redistros. And then my second question would be, if that accumulation is failing, is it in an area of demand? And if it's an area of demand, then you have a complete market cycle change. You have a change of momentum. So yeah, I would look at where your accumulations, the location, the physical location on that chart, where those accumulations are occurring. And you have to identify, is it in a point of interest that holds demand buyers? If it's not, then, I mean, most of you guys know I could care less about an accumulation that's in no man's land. So yeah. Do you trade New York Open? Yep. I trade New York Open. Yep. I typically wake up for New York Open. That's what I trade. And my opinion on SMC, like smart money concepts? What about them? I mean, I have my own understanding of, do you trade the concepts? Well, like what concept? Yeah. I guess it's all subjective, because what is smart money concept? Order blocks and manipulation. Yep. I trade manipulations, right? Actually, I trade mitigations of manipulations. I don't trade order blocks though. So I guess I could say that I kind of trade order blocks, right? Because what is an order block? An order block is just a reaccumulation or redistribution, right? So, I mean, I do trade those, but I don't trade a strict order block. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of a schematic, right? A distribution is a manipulation and an accumulation is a manipulation, right? So I'll play the mitigation of those. Yep. Yeah, you got it. So anyway, with this in mind, I mean, I'm still very much just focusing on majors this week. Everything US dollar is what I'm looking at. We're finally getting some pullbacks. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to find an entry on them this week, but we'll see. We'll see where we get by like Wednesday, Thursday. I do have some yen crosses that I am looking at, specifically the Kiwis and the Australians. And of course, indices, right? I caught a decent buy this morning on indices on US 30. And I did get into a sell on it. took some profits, ended up break even on it. But obviously the buy for me is still holding. I'm up, I think, like 400 plus points on it. Could I speak a little bit about your ups and downs during the first year or two of trading? What do you mean? Like, well, that's yeah, I mean, I would say this, on the technical side. Yeah, I just had to go back and revisit what the confirmations were for me to get into entries. I can tell you, like, if you split it, you put your technical stuff over here, right? And you put your psychological over here. They're two separate things, right? So how I tackled this was journaling and demo trading, right? And lots of hours in that, right? Lots of charts, a lot of back testing, a lot of trial and error. This was easy for me, right? This was easy for me. And obviously I had a lot of training in this simply because of my background. I mean, most of you guys know I'm not a young buck, right? I'm 40 years old. So I'm not a young buck. I've been around the world a couple of times, and my most of my adult life has prepared me for trading. Most of my military background, most of my my adult life experiences has allowed me to apply my mindset and psychology to be in a point where I have an understanding of what I need to do to get to the end goal. So I would say that if you're new to this, Mark Douglas is probably the main source you need to be just diving into. And I still to this day listen to the audiobooks, Trading in the Zone and A Disciplined Trader. Every now and then, I like to just have it in the background, especially on like road trips. I'll do it. But the technicals, that was the hardest part for me. And it really just meant a lot of time in the office, a lot of time journaling, a lot of time getting to the point where I needed to figure out what I wanted to do, how I needed to get there, what confirmations, what invalidates and stuff like that. So yeah. Do I trade USD Mexican? I do not. But if Thomas is on, I'm sure he'll give you his 2 cents on USD Mexican. I don't know if that buy ever happened. We'll see. You recently picked up Trading in the Zone. What do you journal from your trades? What do I journal from my trades? Everything, man. Everything. The time of day, the type of entry, whether it's in a structure leg or order flow. Yeah, every little bit of analytical data is important to me, and it allows me to really devise how I'm going to set up my week, my month, my year. So yeah, I have a video on my YouTube channel. Just type in go to my playlist and just type in journal. And I don't remember. I mean, it's an older video. Like my journals, I definitely have updated the journal since. I've included more information, but yeah, it's in there. All right, let's get into it. Hold on, bear with me here. Yeah, you got it, man. You got it. Yeah. It's still the same concepts, but my journal is it is what tells me what to do and what not to do. So, especially in the beginning, you might want to incorporate everything and anything to get as much information, as much data into that journal so that you can understand, what and when you need to do something. So, all right, let's run the gauntlet. Let's start with dollar index. All right. And dollar index, like I said, we broke order flow. So let's get up here, right? Nothing about dollar is telling me bearishness, right? We are still just massively bullish. I've been waiting for some kind of pullback, and we finally got it, right? We broke order flow, and you can see we have a distribution. We have a distribution up here. This was the reaccumulation that gave us, ultimately the order flow leg, and we've broken it. So now what I'm expecting us to come down into this area, right? This is what I'm waiting for. I will be looking to see what we do in this reaccumulation, because this is the reaccumulation that broke the higher time frame structure all the way on the weekly, all the way to the left on dollar index, right? So like what I'm talking about is this bad boy right up here. So when we broke this up here and we made our, I know my drawings are kind of crazy here, but when we broke this right up here, we did it from that reaccumulation, right? So that reaccumulation holds a lot of value to me. And, you know, I'm not going to have a limit on anything, especially like on EU from it. But if we do come in here and you can see my alert sitting right over here, right? My alert. Once we get in here, that's where I'm going to start looking on the flip side for EU, but I'll be looking for dollar to gain some strength in there. Now, if we don't accumulate, obviously we're going to come way lower. All right. So with that, I mean, I am taking the opportunity because I am holding a bunch of EU and GU shorts. My oldest EU short is from September, right? So I'm going to be looking for hedge positions. That's kind of why I've got dollar index alert hitting here. Because if we do come back into this redistribution, I'll be looking to hedge, in EU's case, I'll be looking to buy it up, but I'll be looking to hedge dollar crosses down. Okay. So that's really what I'll be looking for. What did you say about the digital dollar? It is no big deal. Yeah, man, you just you're on YouTube. So just rewind the YouTube channel, the video, man. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So with dollar, that's what I'll be looking at, right? And ultimately where I really want to see if we can get back into is this leg right here, right? Because this is the leg that started all of this. This is what snagged liquidity. This is what we swept below the low here and just took off. So, if we do come back into this area, this is where I'm going to be really focusing on long-term buys to get back up to a new high. So with that, right, on the EU front, this is what I'm looking at with EU. All right. From bigger picture, we are still massively bearish, right? I'm really not interested in doing much as far as getting into buys. Like I'm not expecting us to come down to here and buy it up, because I think if we do come down to here, we're just going to redistribute, right? We're going to break the low. So short term, what I'm going to be looking for is if I can get a hedge for a buy, I'll take it. And this is kind of what I was looking at this morning. I wanted to see if we can come back into this area here. This is still the area that I want to get into. This is the slingshot or the reaccumulation that broke this high. And if we don't get down here, I'm going to be looking for shorts out of up here, right? So anything above like the 1.08 level, that's where I'm going to be looking for my shorts. And it's really going to be into this here. This is our manipulation, right? This was that FOMC candle that I've been waiting, I don't know, since end of April. I've been waiting for us to come back into it. So if we do, that's going to be the point of interest that I want to get into. And that's really what I want to focus in on. I'm not going to be playing much out of it. The 2 points of interest that I'm going to be really focused on are out of this. Again, manipulation candle, very clean. But this is going to be ultimately the second one that I'm going to be looking at. So if we get in, you can see my alert sitting right here. If we get in here and I find a distribution, right, I will give that risk, because this is what started the original break. Okay. And if we go higher and I don't see the distribution, then I'm definitely looking out of this manipulation right here. So do I use the volume profile? I do. Yeah, I do. It tells me which, what wicks are BS and which ones are actual valid. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I do though, is I don't use it for anything other than just to invalidate some of the erroneous API data that individual brokers will put on. So I don't use it. I know some people use it for their entry positions, but you can use the volume profile on a Wanda and overlay it with the volume profile on, like, say, FXCM, and it'll be totally different, because it's only the volume being reported by that actual broker. So when it comes to currencies, I don't use it for anything other than invalidating the erroneous like wicks or data feeds, especially during like changeover or during like big news events where we're going to get some significant volatility where, you may get, a larger wick than you're supposed to. So it's just an extra 0 in the code or something like that. How many pairs do I trade? I don't know, all of them. I mean, this is what's on my primary week list for this week. So yeah, I mean, if it's a chart, I stick to the majors, right? The majors and the minors are what I trade. I don't do any of the exotics. So, you got it. You got it. All right. So this is really what I'm going to be focused on. And, this right here is really what I want us to get into. So, ideally anything above like the 1.08200 level, that's where I want to see us get up to. And you can see we're almost there. We're about 90 pips currently from that area. So easily we can get up into this area. And that's what I'll be waiting for, right? I'll be ideally waiting for price to get up into that area. And if we come lower first, I'll hedge it up just because I'm holding a ton of shorts on this. But if we go up first, then I'm by no means interested in the buy, right? I'll just be waiting up here for us to get into that sell position. So that's what I'm doing with EU. Okay. And overall, all my EU targets are going to be, I'm sure if you haven't noticed, we haven't broken this low yet, right? I thought I had it marked out. I'll tell you what, I sent a scathing email to TradingView this morning because I did all my markups yesterday, like I normally do on Mondays. And I woke up this morning, I had to log back in. I was logged out of my profile, logged back in. And every one of my drawings I did yesterday, the 2 hours I spent marking everything up, completely gone. So I was pretty pissed off about it. But anyway, so EU, right? You could see we have a little bit of a divergence, right? We have yet to break the low, but if we come over to dollar index, we have broken the high, right? So any shorts that I'm taking on EU are going to be to take out this low, right? I'm targeting to make a new low, taking this low out. And, you could see we definitely have some real estate to cover. By no means am I, bullish on this whatsoever. I mean, realistically, we are in this leg right here. Okay. All right, hold on. Oh, I got you. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. On the GU side, right? EU is pretty self-explanatory for me, and like I said, if we do, let's just say that we do go higher, right? If we do, let me hide my drawing tools. There we go. So let's just say we trade above here, right? So, at that point, I'll be looking for those continuation hedge buys up, and I'll be looking into my next leg, right? Which is going to be this. And I'll look to see if I can find an entry to short out of that, right? So it's all going to be dependent on where and when we start to get that reaction. I honestly don't think that that we go above here. I think that this is where we come in and we get that short. So, but if we do, I'll react to it and I'll take the hedge on it. Okay, so moving over to GU, right? GU, now GU is a little more, GU is a little more in the middle of nowhere. You can see, let's see right here, bam. Okay, so on the GU front, this is what I was waiting for this morning. And we are just in my opinion, just a massive redistribution, like eventually wherever we go, whatever manipulation we get, we are just going to take this low and do something like that. So this was the area that I wanted to get into. Again, pretty much this is the manipulation. This was an FOMC release, and 50% of this move lined up in here. That's where I started to look for the shorts. Never got anything, right? You could see coming out of Asian, we really just never saw any kind of distribution. But once we got into the high of it, this is really what I wanted to peek into. And it wasn't enough for me to put a limit order just because the stop loss would have been massive, right? Off that 80%, which it would have popped. We're talking 38 pips, never in my life will I take a 38 pip stop loss. So, I mean, to put it in perspective, even at the low, I'd be at a 1 to 3. That's not even enough for me to take partials. So, what I wanted to wait for was just a clean schematic. So right now we are in an area where I was looking for that short. Can we go gold? Yeah, we can do gold. Yeah, I'll do gold at the end when I'm doing commodities. Um, since DXY is confirmed temporarily bearish until price comes to mitigate the leg structure or make a reaccumulation, does it make sense to not take GU sells? No, because I don't correlate dollar index and GU are not diametrically opposed, right? Meaning they don't hold the same weight like EU does. So EU is the exact same DXY chart, right? Just inversed. You can have a bullish dollar and a bearish GU. You can have a bearish dollar and a bearish GU, right? For me, I don't correlate dollar index with GU. I correlate pound futures. So yeah, I mean, you can, right? I mean, by all means, this is just what I'm doing, but I don't need dollar to be showing bullishness for me to sell GU, because if I go over to pound futures, it's going to be the same darn chart. And if pound futures is showing me weakness, I'm good to sell GU all day long. Right. So, but anyway, this is kind of what I was watching this morning, and I just never got an entry on it. There was an entry during, what was it? During London. I was sound asleep for that damn thing. So I back tested it this morning real quick and it was there, but never in a million years would I have been up for it. Not on a Tuesday morning. I don't wake up early on Tuesday. So, but you have a distribution, and I mean, you can go in here and you can take a look at it. I think it was maybe like 15-second was probably the cleanest view, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, so here it is right here. So you've got your schematic, right? You've got your climax to your rally. You've got your secondary test. Secondary test does push to at least 50% of the range. Then we have an up thrust. Up thrust does push to 50% of the range. And then you get your UTAD, your manipulation, right? Right in the first, what is this, like the first 30 minutes of London session. And then you break. So after the break, you could see price comes into 50% of your UTAD right there. And then what's it do? It redistributes. So off the redistribution, you could see she does come in. She doesn't quite come to the 80 of the redistribution, but she comes to the 50. So there were two entries right there during London, and then it just collapses, breaking order flow, and just bye-bye she goes. So yeah, I was sound asleep for it. Never would I have caught it, but it was a nice little quick little back test that I saw on it. But now, so, what do I got to see next? Like, what gets me into this trade? And let's see. What gets me into this trade? So ideally, this is what I wanted to see us do. I wanted us to break this low today, right? I wanted New York to break this low. So where we're at right now, I'm not feeling like a high probability short coming yet. All we did was just trade right back into demand. So, if we do come up, and you can see I've got an alert sitting here. If we do come up here, I'm going to have to wait for a schematic, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not putting any kind of full risk on it. It's going to be just minimal risk. What I'd like to see is the distribution, right? Followed by market cycle redistribution. And I want that redistribution to at minimum break this low. But I'd really just want to start to see some weakness come in. If we do go higher, then we go higher, but I don't like the fact that we have a distribution here, and the distribution just solely came in to an area of demand, because right now this is still very much bullish for me. Yeah. What's full risk? Full risk is 0.25%. Yeah. So do I include fundamentals into my trading? Absolutely. Yep. I do. Yeah. I mean, I know I've done this before, but if you put up, I mean, all you got to do is, well, shoot, here, we'll just do it on the same screen. Hold on. Yeah. Pull up EU, right? You pull up EU. Let's just go to a 1 hour chart. We go to a 1 hour chart on EU, and you could put DXY on the bottom. They're diametrically opposed. So what that means is you just got to inverse one of them, right? So if I invert dollar index, right, and I line up, hold on. where's my, there we go. It's the same exact chart, right? I mean, this is the same exact chart, right? So, you know, they're just inverted, which means that if I put the, you know, if I want to put EXY, which is the Euro index is the same chart as the dollar index. It's just inverted. So like if I wanted to come over here and say I want to put the EXY, let's see, where is, man, I haven't done this in so long. I want to, where do they move? Compare. They used to have a compare thing. No. Compare. There we go. It used to be over here. So yeah, if I just put in EXY, actually, we'll just do Euro futures, right? EJ1 exclamation. I'm sorry. 6E1. There we go. So if I put the Euro futures on, right, and I overlay it with EU, it's the same chart, right? If I come over here and put it all, I mean, it is the same chart, right? Euro futures and EU is the same chart. So, you know, you can utilize that to kind of determine what you want to do with it. So that's, yeah, same thing. You know, if I come over here, I put GU on the chart, right? If I put in 6B1, if I put in pound futures, right, and I overlay it with GBP USD, it's going to be the same exact chart, right? Same exact chart. So I can use comparable strength to figure out what I'm going to do with it, you know. So that's the true one. You only use limit orders for entries? Yes. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I could probably say that this year I've probably taken 5 market executions, and all 5 of them have screwed me. So yeah, when I market execute, I get a crappier position. So I'd rather get the more precise entry. So what exactly are futures? Yeah, just Google it. It'll take me a long time to explain futures. I'll tell you what, the easiest way to explain it, it's how larger banks and institutions and how options are traded. It's the benchmark for those currencies. Okay. Can you get valid volume profile data from the futures charts? You can if you trade it on a futures. So like I trade futures on TD Ameritrade, and yeah, you can, but you got to get it through TD Ameritrade. You can't get it through TradingView. TradingView is not going to give it to you. So, I mean, I think you can get it through TradingView, but you just gotta, I don't know what the option to pay for that extra. I just traded on TD Ameritrade. So I have the volume there. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, on GU, that's kind of what I'm going to be waiting for. I want to see, ideally, perfect scenarios, we just drop. We drop, I wake up, and, you know, this will be my first point of interest, and this is going to be my second, right? If we don't drop and we come up here, you know, what I want to see is my typical, you know, Frankfurt manipulation. Maybe we break, I take that to short it, but I'm going to reduce my risk, right? I'm not going to give it full risk, and I'm not going to be in a rush to it because it's only Wednesday. So yeah. What indicator do I use for what? Yeah. Indicator for what? If you're setting a limit order off, say the test of a spring, you won't know that will be the correct until the accumulation plays out. That's why you move your stop loss to break even. All right, so wait a minute. So if I'm setting a limit order off the test of the spring, you still won't know that will be the correct until the accumulation plays out. Yeah, so like if this is my accumulation and we get the spring, right? When we break structure, that's when I set my limit order. and stop loss here. And then once I get triggered, right? Once I get triggered, as soon as I either break order flow to the upside, I'll reduce my risk. Or we break the high, I'll reduce my risk, right? I'll bring my stop loss from here to up here. So yeah. I won't know if it's at the stage of accumulation or redistro. Yeah, I mean, when right now it's accumulation. When does it become redistro? Right there, boom. That's redistro. So my entry is off the test. I'll take that. I mean, I'm not, if I'm taking an entry out of an accumulation, I'm bullish, right? I'm in a bullish market. So I could care less about the potential for a redistro. I'm in a bullish market. I'm going to play it as an accumulation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's why I'm working with GU. Yeah, you got it, man. Have a good one. So that's kind of what I'm going to be working on GU, right? I do anticipate me working in a hedge buy, but not from anywhere we're at. You know, you can see I kind of was waiting. I wanted to see if we can come into this for me to hedge it up, but we never did. So I'm not really focused on the hedge yet for it. I'm going to wait to see if I can work in an entry up here. On the NU and AU side, right, especially with news coming out tonight. So I was looking for shorts today and just never got the confirmation. So, we zoom out, again, we're massively bearish, right? We're massively bearish. And for me, we are being maintained right here, right? We're being maintained in this leg. So again, we got our news candle and measuring it out. This was 50%. This is 80%. So once we tapped into that 50, I was ready to start looking for shorts, knowing that we could still come a little higher. The one thing I did see right this morning was we do have a distribution, right? That distribution did lead into a redistro, but we never broke, and specifically that Asian low is really what I wanted. We never really broke. And one of the things I was looking at this morning was, okay, so we got a little bit of AU and NU divergence because NU made this high, AU came down here and respected this. One of the things I really wanted to see, though, is I wanted to see us come here and make a low, right? And because we never made the low, it never allowed me to get into this position, right? Because at this point, we are, from an order flow perspective, we're bullish here, right? So I'm not really looking to try to fight this. I'm going to play the continuation play on it, right? So I was waiting for us to try to get some breaks. We never got it. And, the rest of the day, we just kind of went sideways with it. So I had told myself that if we do trade above here, that I'm done looking until we either come back and trade this low, and then this will just be a larger redistribution. So maybe, going into today with the news, right, potentially something like this, something along the lines of, we come in. Actually, this may be a good little thing here. Let's see. So potentially with the news, we could potentially see something like this manipulation into this, and then that'll be the cause to cause this redistribution. And then what I'll do is I'll play the pullback mitigation of it to come lower. So, I'm still looking shorts on NU. It's nowhere near ready yet. So I'm just going to kind of sit back and wait on it. Have you ever thought of using the COT report for market sentiment? Nope. I could care less about 2-week-old data. I don't need the COT report to tell me when institutions are buying or selling. I mean, I know. Just look for the schematics. That'll tell you where it's at. So, yeah. Is it possible to tell the difference in a distro 1 and a distro 2 as they are forming before the UT? No, it's not. You won't know until you're in phase C. Actually, you won't know until you're going from phase B to phase C. So just sit back, box it out, set your alerts, and just wait. So anyway, so that's what I'll be waiting for on. There's my low. That's what I'll be waiting for on NU. I want to see if news can get us the manipulation and then we break, or news gives us the manipulation to the downside. And then what I'll do is I'll be looking to play, out of here potentially. So it all depends on what happens tonight with the news, right? But I'm still definitely bearish on this. And again, from just a larger time frame, we still have room to go. We could still trade up into this area up here, and then this is where we get our distribution to short it. So where we're at right now, I mean, I'm still not seeing any evidence of major distribution, major sellers coming into this market yet. So, and then on the AU side, pretty much the same thing, right? You can ultimately see we have this leg right here is what's maintaining. This was the redistribution that caused it. So when we came into it, this is where I first started to look for the shorts, but I know that we could still come up here, right? And I did take a trade this morning on this. So you could see the divergence, where NU actually gave the manipulation to the upside. And what I was actually playing was there was a really, really nice distribution up in here that I wanted to play. And you can see the larger distribution sitting right here. So this is something I was looking at. I did have I had a small little order that I threw like $50 at out of a distribution there that ended up stopping me out. It was worth the risk. I didn't mind it. But what I wanted to see was I wanted to see the short out of here. The only problem is when we got here, and you had already traded above the high, so I deleted the order. It was done for me. It's one thing if NU was the one that gave the low and AU gave the manipulation, but we should have respected. NU should not have traded above that manipulation up here. And once it did, it completely invalidated the entire setup for me. So now in order for me to get into this trade, what I need to do is I need to get either a schematic up in here, or we need to break this low, which is what I want to see first, right? Yeah. And then this is kind of just showing where I was looking for in price, why I didn't want to take any of the other positions. Like for me, the 50% of that just wouldn't have been worth it. So it'd only be a 1 to 6 to my first target. So yeah, it wasn't worth the trade on it. So yeah, AU, I'm still very much looking for shorts. We're just not there yet. I'll get a better picture of what's going on with it. And this could be just a larger distribution. So if we do trade higher, we trade higher. I don't mind going higher with it. I just want to see if I can get some kind of schematic to give me that potential. This was the short that I did take this morning. You can see price does come in and give a schematic right here, right? The only problem I had with that schematic though is when we confirm it, that was the break, that was my entry, right? And we failed to break this low. So when we failed to break this low and we came back up, it just hit my reduced risk. So this was something I was looking at, especially because we came very close to that 80% that I wanted us to come into. Yeah. So, and this is an example of what I'd use my volume profile for, to just invalidate that stupid wick, which I know that's changeover. So I know there ain't nothing in there. There ain't no orders. So, but yeah, AU, I'm very much looking for the short on it. I just got to wait for confirmations, right? And like I said, we could still go higher with it. We still have some real estate to the upside up here where I'm going to be waiting up here. Okay. Yeah, so that's AU and NU, and continuing with dollar crosses, right? So USHEF is in the middle of nowhere. I was actually looking for a short sell just to hedge it, because I'm holding a crap ton of orders. I'm still holding all of these buys from here. I'm still holding all of those buys. So, and I think I'm holding a buy, I think out of here. So what I wanted to see was we're in this leg. I mean, you could see that we're in this expansionary leg right here. And if we do come back down into this area or into this area, I'm definitely buying, right? But we've got about 400 pips to get down there. So what I was looking for was the most recent redistribution. I was trying to see if we can get price to pull back up and I can hedge this down, right? So this is kind of what I was looking for, just never gave me anything. You know, the whole day today was just a whole lot of nothing. There was really no, throughout the night, during Asian into London, there just was nothing. You know, you have a small little redistribution into another redistribution, but I'm not trying to play like 1 minute orders, order flow on this. What I want to see is I know that this was a significant redistribution. So if we came back up into this area, you know, I take the distribution and we go lower with it. You know, I'm not prepared yet to really get into long-term buys with this. I think we're going to come a little lower first. And if we don't, I need some significant order flow to break to the upside before I start positioning into some bigger buys on it. So that's kind of my thought process and like how I'm going to tackle US dollar Swiss franc, right? All right, UCAD's another one, right? So UCAD actually confirmed for me today, very importantly. Still very bullish on this, right? And I was looking for buys this morning. The you know, you can see we are in this leg right here, and we came into the area 50 and 80 of this move. So what I was kind of looking for is I wanted to see some evidence of buying, right? And we got it. Hold on, bear with me. I don't know why. There we go. So, you know, obviously this is one very long schematic, and we've confirmed, right? So for me, we have enough to say that this is my spring, and we broke it, right? And then within it, you know, it sucks because this morning, this is what I wanted to catch. I wanted to catch the accumulation. And this is what, when we came into market open, I was really hoping that we were going to come into here so I can buy it, right? We never got it. So it is what it is. And what I was looking for was the reaccumulation. So when price came back down, I was looking to see if I can get an accumulation out of here to take this higher. We just didn't get it. There was no price action for me to really be involved in this yet. And but I was pretty adamant that we were going to go bullish on it. So now it's just a matter of just waiting for price to walk itself down. Potentially, you know, maybe we get you know, Asian price action to just kind of go sideways. We get that Frankfurt push that breaks into this area, and then we confirm the accumulation that I can get into. So this is going to be like a London crossover kind of play for me. I just got to wait to see for price to give me a little deeper of a pullback, or I'll just play market cycle, you know? So like if maybe we come into here and we just start to get reaccumulations, I'll play the reaccumulations. So, but I'm definitely looking to take UCAD higher. Is it better to trade London or New York? It honestly doesn't matter. You know, there's moves in London, there's moves in New York. So, you know, it's whatever your journal tells you. Back test like 6 months of price action and see which gives you the best opportunities to be in the market. So most of you guys know that the only day that I wake up, I don't wake up for London Open. I'll tell you that. The only days that I wake up early are Thursday and Friday. So, you know, I'm up on the market probably around like 5:30 a.m. Eastern, which is what, like 2.5 hours after London Open. So yeah, but yeah, backtest it. Backtest, you know, take 6 months or take a 3-month segment, look at all your trades and just see what the data shows you. You know, for me, yeah, I mean, I miss most of you guys that are in my group and stuff. I mean, yeah, I miss a ton of trades in London, but for me, it's just not worth me waking up for. I don't mind just trading the New York session. So yeah. Yeah, so this is UCAD. This is kind of what I'm playing. I like the accumulation. I like the fact that we have confirmed this schematic. And like I said, where I'll be looking to see is, I think I have it marked out already, but there we go. So you can see we have, this is my spring. And this is the spring on the lower one. And you can see that 80% lines up with 50% of this spring, right? So for me, that's significant confluence that that I like. It's just not enough for me to put a limit order, because that limit order would be massive, right? I mean, we're talking 20 pips. So I'm just going to have to sit back and wait for price action to give me a micro schematic in there in order for me to get into a trade on it. So, but I do like this area. You know, I like this. This is the area that I want to see price come back into and give me a schematic to take this higher. So, which is why I've got an alert here and I've got an alert here, because if we do come lower into here, I'm definitely going to be pulling the trigger on it. So, but I like UCAD from there. I want to take this higher, and we'll see how it plays out. The last dollar cross that I'm looking at is UJ, and again, a lot has to happen for UJ for me to really get involved with this. We're just trading in the middle of nowhere. So we've got a confirmed distribution, we've broken order flow, and we've got like 1,000 pips to come down. So if it gives me an opportunity to hedge it down, I'll hedge it down. I'm holding one buy from, I think somewhere in here is where I'm holding my buy from. But realistically, I mean, this thing can come all the way back down into here. So, you know, UJ is one of those where I think it may just sit on my secondary list or on my primary list until it just gives me some kind of price action. There's absolutely nothing for me to do. The UCAD spring was during changeover. Yes, it was. Yep. It was at the end of New York into changeover. It was, which is why I'm not taking a limit over out of it. Yeah. So on UJ, not a lot going on with me. You know, this to me is definitely, you know, a clean distribution, just, you know, nothing for me to trade out of. So, all right. And what's the other ones I'm looking at? So we'll talk about some of the AJ and NJ one, right? Massively bullish on AJ, right? Massively bullish. And, you know, if you look at yen futures, right? If you look at yen futures, we're definitely still massively bearish on yen futures, right? Which is why UJ is so bullish. So if you look at, right, we know that 6J1 exclamation is yen futures, right? JPY futures. And we know that it's literally UJ inverted, right? So we know that UJ is massively bullish, which means that, you know, futures is massively bearish. So we're just in the middle of a little pullback. So what I wanted to see, like on AJ, I want to see, do we come lower or do we break order flow? And if we break order flow, I'm going to start looking for some buys, right? I took a sell on NJ last week, caught some nice little percentage on it, and ended up hitting the rest break even. So where we're at right now, right, we can see where we're sitting. We're just in no man's land, right? This thing is just sideways. We've been sideways for about a week, and we're either going to go higher, and I'll break this redistribution. If we break that redistribution, I'll be looking for buys. If we trade lower, I want to see some kind of manipulation. So what I want to see is, you know, do we get manipulation, sweep the highs, and then trade lower? And then what I'll be doing is playing those redistributions, right? Playing the continuation move to the downside. It's the exact same game plan with NJ, right? If we break order flow to the upside, right? And you can see I've got my alert sitting up here. If we break to the upside above here, which I think that's what the alert says, right? Yeah. So then I'm looking buys. But right now we're still in a bearish order flow market, right? We're still here. We came in, this was the 80%. We came into the 80, we distributed, we've broken, right? We've seen some weakness, and I was actually looking, damn, did this actually play out? Let me see. I guess it did. All right. So I was looking for shorts today. It didn't, I mean, here's where I came on the market right in here, and it just didn't give me anything. I wanted the break. I wanted it to pull back, and it pulled back at the end of New York. So, what I want to see is I want to see some kind of price action that's clean. Like, this is just garbage to me. This has nothing, gives me nothing to do with it. So, I may just be sitting on my hands with NJ. I'm definitely looking for the short as of right now. I won't be looking for buys until we break order flow, which is going to be up here. Right. And the whole reason why I'm holding, looking for those shorts again, I mean, it's counter trend, but I'm holding a significant amount of buys from February and March. End of February, early March is where I'm holding my buys on NJ. So, and as long as we maintain this order flow right out of here, I'm still going to be looking for those shorts. So my next level that I want to see is I want to see us trade below Asian liquidity. I want to see us, ultimately do this, and then I'll reset myself. And, probably like this is 50, this is 80% of this move. We come back up and I see a distribution. I'm taking it to come lower with it. Right. So that's ultimately how I'm going to be playing NJ. And again, if we break that high, right, if we break that high, that's where I'm going with it. So one of the key things that, for me, why I'm looking for the buy, if we break this, you could see we came into this reaccumulation. That was the cause of the break. And we came into 80% of it. So that reaction off the 80%, if we do in fact end up breaking order flow, right, we're in a bullish market. I'm ready to go up with it. Okay. Why we need to see currencies futures? No clue, man. Why do you need to see currencies futures? All right. So you asking a question, or you? Yeah. Are you making the statement? This is why we need to see the currency futures. Yeah. I mean, the correlation is there. I use pound futures and GU as comparable strength. So I'll use it for divergence, and I'll use it for, if I know what pound futures is doing, I know exactly how I'm trading GU. Yep. Yeah. EG. Yeah. EG. I mean, we could cover EG, but I'm not doing much with EG yet. I'm waiting to see if I'm going to buy it. So, or if I'm going to sell it. I don't know yet. It depends. It's in the middle of no man's land. So if my top alert goes off, I know I'm buying. If my bottom alert goes off, I know I'm going to be looking for some shorts. So, but yeah, this is kind of what I'm waiting on NJ, right? So because of this reaction out of my slingshot that caused that break, I now need us to break here in order for me to go to the top side with it, right? And if we end up mitigating out of here and coming lower, then I'm going to catch, depending on how much lower we come, I'll either be looking for buys up here, and I'll be looking for shorts up here. So, and I'll play the hedge game on it until we get back up to, going in the directional bias, which is bullish on this. So that's NJ, right? That's NJ. The other one, NCAD and ACAD are the other ones, just because of the news this week. So same concept, right? We could see that. I mean, we are massively bearish on this damn thing, right? I'm still holding shorts from here. So damn thing, NCAD, I'll tell you right now, this is why I don't like to trade NCAD. I've been charged. My swap fees on NCAD are ridiculous right now. What am I at? Let me just see. I don't have much volume left on this thing. I'm at, where is it? Yeah. So I've been in that trade since November 18th, which was right here, right? November 18th is when I got into that trade, and I've paid, what do I have? I have 1.15 lots left open on that thing. I want to say it's probably like between 85 and 88% volume off. after taking all the partials, but I've paid almost $1,600 in swap fees on that stupid thing. So yeah, ideally you could see, right, this is now what's maintaining our structure point. We're in this leg, right? So obviously I want us to come up higher, right? I'd love for us to come in that. And that's where I want to short to make our next structure leg. But until we get up there, we've got to break some kind of order flow. And where we're sitting at right now, we've broken the lowest level of order flow, right? So we broke here by doing that. So obviously I was looking for a buy out of this right here. So if we can get up, if we came into that, I'd be looking for a buy. And obviously if we came into this area here, because this is the manipulation of this leg, right? I'd be looking for a short. So if we come up into here, I look for the short. If we come here, I'm hedging it up. But I'm not going to hedge it up if we come up first, because if we come up first, I'd be anticipating just a redistribution, right? So we'll see. You know, I've kind of got it boxed out. I've kind of got an idea of how I want to treat it. The thing I was looking at this morning, you know, same thing. Like, you know, we could see that we are just stuck in here, and I want to see if we go higher, right? If we do this, then this is my first point of interest, and then this is my second, right? For me to take this up into the area I want to short from, right? So it's all going to be dependent. This order flow is all going to be dependent on what we do with this news event, if we go higher or if we come lower with it. So, and ACAD's pretty much the same thing, right? ACAD, now the Kiwi has definitely been the leader the last couple of months. And you can see, right? You could see that we have definitely a ways to go to get up into the area here, right? We've broken order flow, right? We broke it just now. And what I want to see now is we have that manipulation. So if we come down first, this is where I want to play out of, right? I want to play out of this accumulation right here. So that accumulation is what I'm going to have my attention on. And, you know, this is our order flow right now, right there. So if we come down first, this is what gets my attention to take it up higher so that I can sell it from that area up there. And again, it's just going to be a hedge, right? I'm holding the bias shorts on these. So everything in between is just going to be, you know, ultimately playing it out. There is, what time was this at? This was New York session starts like right here. So ideally, this is something I'd be looking to play, right? We know, let's see, we know, so let me just see this, hold on. So we know that we break, all right, so this was the BOS right there. And yeah, all right. So it does come to 50. Okay. So ideally, this is my UTAD right here. I'm sorry, my spring. So what are we talking here? We're talking to the 50, 5.8. That's not too shabby. I may throw a small, I don't mind taking the buys on news. I'm protected from the broker manipulation. So I may see if I throw something into this. We'll see. I'm just going to see if I can find a full volume candle. Let's see. Let's see. We are. Well, look at that. Hold on. We may actually have. Has anybody looked at this yet? Does anyone have the candle? Let's go 31. 33 is close. It might be that 37. Yeah, I think it is. Let's just see. Yeah, pretty sure. I know it's already going to be worth it. Let's see. Yeah. Just give me a second. Yeah, I may actually look at this. Let me just see what NCAD looks like. Yeah. So you could see the divergence. NCAD gave you the type 2. All right, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna screenshot this from my journal. Have you ever not been able to find a high volume candle and spread the fib across smaller candles with volume? Yeah, I'll just take the whole move if I can't find the candle. All right, so that's ACAD. And this one is NCAD. Yeah, if I can't find the most voluminous candle, yeah, I just do the whole move. You're gonna get the tighter entry on the most voluminous candle though. All right, so I got that there. I just got to remember to put this on my POC. Just give me a second here. What is that? That is. All right. Okay. Sorry. All righty. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking for ACAD. Um, yeah, I like where ACAD's going with it. So it's just a matter now. We'll just see what happens at news. So like I said, news is coming out in just under 2 hours. So I'll kind of watch it, and we'll see what happens when we come up here, right? If we come up higher first, then I'm not interested in that, right? So if it's only if we come lower first. So that's ACAD and NCAD. I know someone asked about EG. Yeah, EG, for me, we're just in the middle of no man's land. So we are stuck here. So for me, it broke lower time frame structure. We are, where the hell is my box? Maybe the hour. Let's see. For the love, man. All right. Well, there's my accumulation. Yeah, like we have a distribution here that's done diddly squat. All that distro did was bring us right back into reaccumulation of demand. So yeah, I was going to be interested in looking for a short on EG if this distro did something, right? But since it hasn't, now I've got an alert up here, because if we go higher, then the pullback gets me into buys to take this higher. And so it's just in the middle of nowhere. So if we break this high, I'll look for some continuation buys to the upside. And if we end up coming lower and invalidating some demand, as long as we don't accumulate here, then I'll be looking for continuation shorts to the downside. So overall, I'm still bearish. Like I'm not going to close out of my sells on EG. Right. I mean, ideally, I want to buy it because I want to take it up to here. Right. If I can get into buys, right, I'm coming up into this area here. And if we don't go, right, if we end up just selling off, then I'm going for this, right? I'm going to take it lower. One of the things, definitely with EG is this right here. We've got the potential for just a all out manipulation, take out all these weekended sellers and distribute to then confirm another redistribution, right? It won't be the first time they've done it. They did it here, they did it here, they did it here, 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 here. Everybody that's been trying to buy EG from early 2021 has just been screwed on this thing. So I wouldn't put it past them to just ultimately say F you to everybody and then distribute after taking all of that. So, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up playing. But for me, there's absolutely nothing to do with EG. We either need to distribute here and break for me to look for shorts, or we need to come up and break this for me to look for buys, right? So, and the buys are just going to be short-lived. They're going to be to get up into the areas where I'm going to be looking for the shorts. So, we are in a very higher time frame distribution. But so EG's nowhere near the top of my priority. It's just one of those like trade of opportunity. If it presents something, I'll take it. If not, yeah, no, it could sit here on the watch list and just collect dust for all I care. So that's really, you know what, CAD Chef. I was looking at CAD Chef for a while. Yeah, I mean, CAD Chef's getting close. This is where I'm waiting, right? I'm waiting for us to come right here for me to look for that buy to take this up. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty there's really not much to do until we get, close to this, like 74. So another 50 pips. So sometime tomorrow, I'll be looking for that accumulation anywhere in here. If I can get that accumulation, fantastic. And I'll be looking to take this higher, yeah, I'll be looking to take this higher. So if you look at UCAD, right? UCAD is going to tell you exactly what the Canadian dollar is doing, right? So, UCAD is massively bullish. So I'm looking for strength in the Canadian dollar here, and also just jumping over to commodities and looking at oil, right? I mean, I'm sure those of you guys outside of the US, maybe not totally aware of this, but we are just massively bullish on this damn thing. So the way oil goes, right, is the way Canadian dollar goes. So, this is market cycles looking pretty damn bullish to me here. So I want to see this pop up above here, and that's going to kind of really spark off what Canadian dollar is doing. So, and that's, potentially at some point, CAD-J will come back onto my watch list. Right now, it's just literally in the middle of nowhere. It's like UJ, in the middle of nowhere, nothing I really want to do with it. If it comes lower, I'll look for buys, but we've got a couple hundred pips before I really start looking for those buys. So on CAD Chef, I don't know where the hell my alert went, but I'll look at it tomorrow morning. This is something definitely I'll be looking for a buy out of here, right? This was the reaccumulation that broke that structure point and got this really good to get going. So, we come down into here. This is what gets me into this trade. So that's what I'm looking on currencies. I know somebody wanted to look at gold. I'll be honest, I haven't traded gold in a minute. Nothing about gold is really getting me to get into this market. Where is it? I thought I had it marked up. Yeah, there we go. So, we did come in to an area that I was really watching for a very long time. I wanted to see us come back into here, after breaking this high. We did, we tapped into it. And we're starting to see some evidence of buying coming in. One of the things, hold on. I know some of the guys did grab this, man. I just wasn't looking at gold at the time. So we have, there was a really clean entry in there. And, super, super clean, came out of the reaccumulation, really nice R to R on it. And at this point, I was looking, like when we were up here, I was looking to see if we can at least come back down into at least 50% of the reaccumulation, if not the 80%. It's something I really wanted to see us come into. Gold had another mind of its own, never really did anything with it. So we're still like in this leg of it. Like I'm not trying to sell this, so I'm personally not looking for shorts. I'd be looking for buys on it, for the meantime, at least, especially with what the US Fed's doing, the minute they start curbing some bond purchasing and we start taking a dovish tone, I think we're going to see this really appreciate. But if they're trying everything in their power to stave off inflation, we may see, if they do something right, we may see this kind of depreciating come lower, because, on the flip side of it, silver, I'm definitely looking for continuation to the downside on silver. Right. I've been waiting for this damn thing for a very long time. So on the silver side, you could see we've redistributed, and this is where I want to see this thing just come down from. So if we can get up into this area right here on silver, which, gold is silver is going to follow what gold is doing. We get up into this area here, we're going to see that short. So, and then, I'm sure you could see I'm buying more physical silver when we get down to like $17 and $16 range. So on the metal side, right now I'm looking, short-term bullish on it, right? I'm looking to see, continuation to the upside on gold. But there's really nothing that's getting me involved in gold right now. So that's why it's on the secondary list. And then on indices side, right? On the indices side, this stupid thing right here, man. I wanted the buy on U30, and I actually took a buy and a sell on this thing. So, we ended up coming in pre-market, had a distribution right here, and it actually played out pretty nicely. So I just played a little ping pong with it. Here we go. So this is the accumulation that swept Asian liquidity coming into pre-market, and this is what ultimately caused this leg, right? So what I was looking for was, I wanted to see us come down into it. We ultimately accumulated in it, and I took a buy on it this morning. So I took a buy, I'm guessing maybe off the 32nd it's on there. or maybe it might be on another chart. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. So I took this buy and caught this entry right here off the 80% of this accumulation. So that was my entry. And then as we came into New York Open, I had an entry off of the distribution that's sitting up here. So these were my entries right here. Took some partials when we broke that low right there, and the rest of it ended up breaking even. So, but it was still a decent little play. This gave like a 1 to 13. This was a 1 to 7.5. And I'm still holding the buy, but I'm holding the buy into a hedge because I'm still bearish on this thing. Like I want to catch, what is this thing at? Like a 1 to 22 or so. Oh, it's actually a little more now. Let's see. So we are, hold on. Where are we? Oh, I guess that's what it is. So I'm going to be looking, let me just zoom out, right? Go to your 15-minute chart. Where are you selling from? You're selling from up here, right? We're selling from up here. So that's the goal. I want to take this up into here where I want to get the next sell to just short this thing. So I've been massively bearish on indices, right? Been trying to sell this damn thing, just from all over the place. So I'm still holding a crap ton of shorts on US 30, NASDAQ, and SPX. So it's just the ping pong game that I'm playing with it. This is our leg, right? That's our leg. And, everything in between is just going to be noise. So, which is why I'm not risking my usual risk on these plays. These are just going to be short-term plays. So I risk 0.25% on each trade. So if you lose 4 trades in a day, then you stop trading. If I lose 1% in a day, yeah, I stop trading. So not every trade is 0.25%. So yeah, if it's order flow, it's 1/16%. So it all depends on the scenario, but the max I'll risk on a trade is 0.25%. Yeah. So anyway, that was US 30. SPX, I'm looking at the same thing, right? I'm looking to see if we can get up, and this is kind of what I was looking at this morning, right? I wanted to see if we could get up into these 2 points, right? So I was looking at the open today. I wanted to get into it. You could see I had a limit order off the 80. It misses me here. When we get that drop, the order got deleted because then by that time we're getting into power hour and I'm not trading that. And then I was looking at this distribution up here for a schematic, and obviously like that's where we're at now. So I'm really not doing much with SPX, but on from just a more macro sense, like what do I want to do with this? Well, two things get me into the trade, right? Like we either push up higher and I want to sell from up here, or if we end up distributing out of this right here, right, that gets me into the short to take this lower. So, this is all just a bunch of noise. I'm not going to fall for just these spikes. I need to make sure that supply is coming into the market. So right now, what do I know? I know that this was the reaccumulation. I know the distro broke supply broke, demand was sitting there, but we're still in this leg, right? And this comes into 50%. So we could potentially see price do something like this. So depending on where we're at tomorrow morning, when I wake up and get into equities open, is going to determine how I'm going to trade this. Ultimately, this is where I want to catch my short to make the new leg, right? This is what I want to see. But if we don't get in, if I see that distribution potentially happening here, I'm shorting it. If we end up breaking this high and we come back down first, I'll be looking for a buy out of New York market, especially out of the accumulation that I caught US 30 out of. So that's what I'll be looking to trade. NASDAQ's the only one that I'm really not doing much with, right? NASDAQ. So you can see like because of this break here, we're in this leg. And, we have a, head and shoulders, it's a form of accumulation. We've respected this high, and what we're doing is we're just kind of like treading lower and lower with it. So there's just nothing that I want to risk anything on with NASDAQ. One of the, I do have an alert up here, right, to look for shorts, because I was going to look for shorts if we came up into this area here, right? this was yesterday's price action at the high, but we never got up there. I wanted to see us take out like some liquidity on the Asian side and maybe trade up here. I'll still do that, but I'm only going to trade it during New York session. Like I don't trade indices outside of New York session. So depending on where we're at tomorrow, if we're here tomorrow morning, I'm looking for the short. And if we end up breaking the high, then I know that we're coming back into this for mitigation. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for with indices. Everything is short term. Like, we haven't been up into the area that I really want to catch the short on in a while. So, it is just going to be playing order flow, right? But one thing's for sure, we are just massively bearish on this, right? I mean, we could see the distribution in play. The key area that I wanted to see us get a reaction from, we got it. And this could be the reason that we get up into here, right? So that's why I'm looking for the buy, but I'm also looking for the sell, right? And I'm holding sells from here and here. So, I'm okay taking those hedge buys, but most definitely I'm looking to come into 27,000. I've been saying this for a very long time that we're coming for 27K at minimum, and potentially even coming down into the low 2000s right down here to mitigate out of this. So we'll see if we can, maybe next year we'll be down in here and I'll be happy about it. Where to find a position size calculator for indices? No clue. I use it. You're not going to find one because each broker has a different contract size for it. So I used to just have to, this is a long time ago. This is what I used to have to do. So like on my broker, that was my lot size that I had to calculate on SPX. And then, for my broker on FX Choice. And, like I would have to do, that's kind of how I had to do it. Right. On my MT5, I have a built-in position size calculator. So I couldn't tell you, it does it on all my accounts. So each account has a different contract size. So you just have to figure out what your contract size is. And then from there, it's just simple math, right? You just, depending if your contract size is a micro, mini, you'll have to figure out what based off your stop loss, what it is. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I'm looking at for the week. Like I said, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to be in a huge rush. Thursday, the calendar, fundamental calendar, right? News calendar is going to be a little light. So, which kind of gives me the mitigation play, right? Mitigating everything from the manipulation that we get Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's something I'll be looking at. And I'll be, I'm still very bearish on these indices. It's just short term. You gotta look at where we're at, right? We are at discount. So for me to sell, like this is the lowest form of order flow that I want to sell. So if we get up into here, I'm shorting it, and obviously if we get up into here, for sure, I'm shorting it. So that's everything I'm looking at. Anybody else have any questions, anything else that you want to take a look at? I haven't really looked at a lot of the exotics because the dollar crosses have been paying me out pretty nicely. Playing the dollar crosses the last like 6-7 weeks have been pretty easy. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Thanks for hopping on. You got it. It's awesome. Yeah. We'll, have fun, be patient, and, just use proper risk management. That's all it is. It's a game of probability. And, if you're doing the right thing, journaling your trades and following your trading plan, the only thing you got to do if you're not finding the consistency, review what you're doing, review what you're doing and make the changes that you need to make. But that journal is going to give you exactly what you need to do. So awesome. Well, listen, guys, I will catch everybody later. I'm going to go grab a little bite to eat and maybe I don't know what to do anymore. My son's baseball's over, volleyball's winding down. We're getting into the summer months, so it's actually my day-to-day is actually opening up, which is pretty nice. I'm pretty happy about it. So, but thanks for hopping on. I will catch everybody later. Have a good one.